About health conditions, yeah, so we were all growing up, back home. My mother was really working hard to, give us education and all those. She used to, poor thing, she didn't go to work for somebody, but what happened, she used to make sweets and ice blocks and, sweets, sewing clothes and all sorts of things to earn a living, to make us grow. And, like we were all growing well. She gave us a lot of things which we wanted in life. We as three brothers, what we used to do, we used to go home to cut grass, and that's how we earn our living. So my eldest brother, he finished his high school, and when he finished his high school and he got a job, that's when my second eldest sister, she married. She got married because now my brother is looking after us, So we just grew up like that, and my mother struggled a lot just bringing us as well. So that was a challenge in our life. As time passed, my mother, one of my sisters, she got married in Australia. She was here in Rockhampton. She got my sister got married, and she was pregnant. So my mother came to Australia to look after my sister. This is when I was in probably 18 years old. After I finished my high school, I just got a part-time job. So I was working in a photo studio as a part-time job, and I was going to uni. I started my first year of uni. In a photo studio where I was working, lots and lots of customers used to come. And there was this customer, he came over, and he was a person who used to organize like shows, meaning like musical shows. So he came to the studio, and I was talking to him as a customer. We were just discussing a few things, and he said, "Oh, I run musical shows over here. Like I'm looking for singers who can sing and band and all those things." So I asked him, "Oh, so you are like someone who organizes things? You are recruiting singers?" And he said, yes, would you like to sing? And I said, yeah, I would love to sing, because I like singing. So one day he said, okay, you come to this studio in Suva. There was a studio called SPR. He said, you come over there and we'll interview you. Like, we want to see what sort of voice you have. So because I was just like I just loved singing, and then he asked me to come over and he'll interview me. So when I went there, he interviewed me and he asked me to sing few songs, and I started singing. So that time my voice was, I could swap voices, I could do mimicry those days. So I could sing in a voice of a male, and at the same time I had the female voice as well, because I was quite young. So I started swapping voice between male and female. And then I became a very popular dual voice singer in Fiji. So I used to swap singing. And he recruited me, and he said, wow, you are very good in singing, so why not you come and join the band? So I started to go into the band and started singing, and in 2 years' time, I was quite famous in Fiji. I did lots and lots of advertisements. I worked for the radios and, making advertisements in different companies, for different companies, and plus singing. So I became like a star that time in Fiji. It was very interesting, and I really enjoyed music from that time. What happened, as I was going to uni, I got another job as well. So I got a job in a chartered accounting firm as a clerk, and just doing my training. Things changed as I was doing music. I was so much interested into music. So I used to be out all the time in the night. So most of the nights I'm home after the sessions gets finished. I used to sing in the clubs. I used to sing in so many places, wherever we're in weddings, wherever we're being told to come, we'll just go. And I come home very late. So I always used to get in trouble. And the village people, sometimes they used to get very angry. They always used to tell my mom, he's getting spoiled. You are allowing him too much outing and this and that. But, that was my passion, and I really enjoyed it. But what happened, unfortunately, my mother came to Australia, and I was in one of those musical thing. And one night I came home really late in the night, and I was after sleeping in the night, I had this very strong cramp on my muscle, on my leg, on my left leg. And the pain was so strong that I stood up and started crying, actually, really crying with this pain. My brother and my sister-in-law and my other brother were in the other rooms, in their rooms. They couldn't even hear me, how loud I am, because they were so deep in sleep. But I don't know what happened, and so much of pain on my leg at that cramp. And that was the beginning of the problem in my leg. So I got up in the morning and I asked, and I was still so much in pain. Then my brother came and checked on me. He said, "What happened? Why are you crying?" I said, "I've got really bad cramp on my leg last night and it's still very sore." And then he massaged and he, put some ointment and all those things. Still, it wasn't going. So this pain gradually started to become more and more and more. So it was quite bad. And then he took me to the doctors. My brother always helped me. Still, he's always concerned about me, because he was always, my elder brother was always looking after me. And he took me to so many doctors. Still, the pain was not there. It's still there and very, very bad. So what happened, my mother was in Australia. So my mother had a very interesting dream. And she had a dream. My father came in the dream of my mom and he said, "What are you doing here in Australia? You better go back to Fiji. Sailesh is very sick." But then my mother, those days we don't have phone and all those things. This is why I'm talking 30 years back. We won't hardly ever talk. Anyway, my mother called to my neighbor and they say, "Is everything okay?" Then my neighbors told her that Sailesh is very sick. His leg is very, very much sore. You better come home. So in a week's time, she came back home. So when she came here I was in so much of agony with my pain. And that's when the journey of this leg started. I went to so many doctors in Fiji. Unfortunately, they tried their best. Nothing actually helped. No medicines, nothing. Then we started going to see all these witch doctors, we call it, the doctors in the village and in the town, everywhere we go. I tell you, my friend, we went to about 60 different witch doctors in Fiji.